Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. This is podcast number 331. Thank you very much
331
for being here. It's a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. It's been another fantastic week. As always, I am joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First, it is Mr. McSpicy.
Hello.
Then there is Jordan the Man.
Hello.
And last but not least, I am X1. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being here. Before we begin, I do just want to make a comment real quick about something. We just want to clarify and reiterate something. It's that time of year. It's election time, and so we wanted to talk about how we're a no politics podcast, and the community is no politics. So if you want to get away, if you want to escape, this is the place for you. It's what positive gaming is about. It's about coming together as a community, surrounded by people who share their love in games. So we don't care what you believe in, we don't care who you vote for, and we don't want to know because that's what this community is about. So just over the next couple months, I know it's probably going to be pretty heated, hot and heavy out there. So just know that when you're in our Discord, when you're here in chat, when you listen to this show, we will never talk about politics because gaming, we believe, is a social good. That's why we say positive gaming. It's good for the social fabric of society because it doesn't. We don't care.
It doesn't exclude. It includes.
It includes, exactly.
Gaming is awesome.
It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, where you come from, what you think, or what you believe. Together, we're united as gamers.
And let's go kill some demons together.
And let's go smash some demons from hell. Speaking of demons from hell, Doom
Eternal
is our new Gamer Club game of the month for the month of October. Doom Eternal is here.
It is such a good game.
Oh, that's a good
so
one.
Good. This is one of those things. This is one of those things.
It is
that is a benefit of those things. That is a benefit from Bethesda.
Yeah, it's now on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. So everybody come join us. Now, last month's Game Pass Game Club games, for those of you that don't know what a Game Club game is, over on Discord as a community, we all play the same game together for the month. Last month it was actually two games. It was Crusader Kings 3 and Wastelands 3. I think most people played Wastelands 3.
I played Crusader Kings.
Oh, did you?
It was,
dude, it's so advanced.
Intense.
It is so intense.
I spent 3 hours just reading.
Oh yeah, that's dude. The game is so good.
But what's funny is I enjoyed the read.
It was like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Did you sell your kids off?
Lustful. Okay, check that off. Okay, I'm looking, and then there's like frail. I'm like looking at all these things. Oh man. You got there's a lot of fine print that whenever you do some marriages.
Dude, there is. The marriage, that's the key, right? Like who you marry in that game could make or break your empire.
Oh, yeah.
At that time, right? Also who your kids are. I have killed off my own children.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good
because
for you.
it's just what you got to do in order to maintain power sometimes, right? Like you got to say it. There's no way when I die, he's not getting this.
Oh man.
Not today. Anyways, so our new game of the month is Doom Eternal for the month of October. It's fitting because it's Halloween.
Exciting.
You're
Very
destroying
exciting.
demons from hell at 60 frames per second in buttery, smooth.
Can I say
gore
something?
Yes, please.
If the
Please
Doom
do.
Slayer was in real life, I think we'd have peace on Earth. I mean, you send that guy into... No, I'm telling you, there's a couple levels where he goes into negotiate, and he takes care of business.
Just
you know
the
what I mean?
soundtrack alone that comes with him.
Yeah,
you know what
would
I mean?
bring peace on Earth.
It will bring peace on Earth.
If Earth had, and this is what I think the Avengers should have did instead of the Ultron program. If you had the Doom Fortress just right outside Earth,
flying on just right up there. In
no
the
one
sky.
messes with Earth. You know what I mean? No, this game is fantastic. I'm really excited to play through this game. I played through I'd say I'm about 3/4 of the way through, so I'm excited to go back and finish for Game Club. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be.
And this
so
game
much fun.
is, I would say, the pinnacle of your, I don't know if you'd call it classic, but your classic first-person shooters. Like, this is a tried and true first-person shooter.
Yeah, no, it
I mean,
absolutely is.
It's smooth, fast, high frame rate. You're like, it's good.
And
it's good.
what they do a good job too is it's not just like shoot and kill what's in front of you, although there is that.
There's definitely that aspect. There definitely is.
They nail like the collection and exploration aspect,
sure.
the problem solving aspect too.
Puzzles,
Well, it's just really good.
It's like that traditional, like when you played Wolfenstein or Doom, like the old Doom back in the DOS days, years and years and years ago. You're always like when I would play Wolfenstein, I'd always be against the wall pressing the space bar over and over and over to try to find that secret door. And go through. They added that into this game. There's secrets everywhere, and you're rewarded immensely for those secrets with ammo, guns. and
power.
Dolls.
different, and
little-
power, and
little
different
Doom-
ways to
and
kick
Doom-
some butt.
and
and
Doom dolls.
shotgun chains thingies, grappling hooks.
And
So-
I feel like that game is more than just like smooth frame rates. They made like the gameplay smooth.
Oh, it's
Oh,
the
no,
smoothest
they
experience
really
ever.
did.
It's
it
almost
just feels good.
It's almost jarring to go from that game back to another first-person shooter.
Sure.
You know?
No, it's true. So that is our Gamer Club game of the month. It is Doom. If you haven't yet, come join us over on Discord. It's a fantastic community. All people who just love video games. I love just browsing and searching and seeing what everybody's talking about during the week. It really makes life better. But we do have a game club there. Come join us, youtube.com or discord.gg, actually, discord.gg/X1Bros. We'll get you there. So come join us over on Discord and join us for the month of October. Doom Eternal.
Oh,
we had
exciting.
ever since we moved to YouTube, we've been setting things up. We made the jump from Mixer over to YouTube. We have videos publishing weekly. We're trying to get almost to a point where we're doing videos daily there. We're not quite there yet, but we'll get there eventually. So if you haven't yet, come join us, youtube.com/X1Bros. But one of the things that we were excited about moving to YouTube is being able to create additional content, extra content, particularly for our members and for those who support us over there. And yesterday was our first couch cast for members only.
It was awesome.
And it was so much fun for everybody that was able to come by and stop by and hang out. It was a blast. Now we got to play Star Wars Squadrons, the brand new fighting only, dogfighting only game from EA in the
And
Star
Motive,
Wars
yeah.
universe. And Jordan, let's go. Let's just talk about it. Give me your first impressions, thoughts, and you got to play a little bit more today as well. So first impressions. What do you think? Go.
No, I really enjoyed it. I think it's so the thing that makes it good for me and probably for a lot of people is it's only $40.
Yeah.
So it's not a full price game at $60. You're saving $20. That being said, it's not. I would
no intro screen.
no
Right?
intro's great. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's what that extra $20 is for.
It's not. Because I would say it's a AAA game,
Yeah.
but it's not a AAA price. I don't know. But anyway, no, it's a very the dogfighting. It's a very polished dogfighting game.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it's $40 because it's literally only a dogfighting game. The campaign is anywhere between I've seen people beat it 5 to 8 hours, right? Nothing long. I think it's only 14 missions.
Sure.
Each mission is about the missions I played. I think I finished a mission anywhere between, let's say, 10 to 20 minutes, anywhere between there, right? So it's not super long. I think the fun part of this is, and David said this yesterday, is the fleet battle mode, which is in multiplayer. Now in multiplayer, and this is where I was kind of like, really only 2 modes because they have fleet battles, which is their kind of flagship multiplayer mode, which is where you have, I believe it's 2 teams of 5, and then of course just like in Battlefront, there's some AI stuff, but you basically try to take out each other's fleet, and it becomes this tug of war type thing if you have good matches. And then they have a deathmatch mode, which is what we played yesterday, and then they have a ranked mode for the fleet battle. It's really fun. I like it. They also have customization, which isn't necessarily the greatest. I think that's something obviously you can over time add because you can always add customizations. Like right now, you can change your ship and stuff like that. There actually is a really cool. The reason I don't think it's the greatest, and I think it suffers from game the same thing like Apex suffers from, is you're in first person. So when I make my ship blue and yellow and whatever color, I'm never going to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like, why am I spending all this time doing, this and that. There is one thing. You can get a cool golden rebel helmet if you complete the operation is what they call it, which is their big challenge for the first part of the game. I think it's complete like 40 daily missions or something like that, right?
Sure. Okay.
But again, cool helmet. I'm only ever going to see that when I'm
Cutscenes, like in the menu screen.
Well, I don't even know if you'll see it in the cutscenes because I haven't actually tested out changing my character and then going back to the campaign. Sure. But anyway, you're never really going to see that type of stuff. So I think customization would be cooler if they let you customize like your dashboard, have different dashboard themes. You know what I mean? I was actually thinking about that today. I was like, what if I had like, a bobblehead?
Yeah.
On my dashboard or something like that. Something you can see. It like at least in Apex, you can't see your characters, but you can see your guns. And that's what I like to cut. You know what I mean? Did that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, absolutely it does.
But so I feel like they can do a little bit better with the customizations. But I mean, for a $40 value, it's got to pass for me.
I mean, it's EA, right? I don't think you're gonna get very much customizations. I mean, let's look at Battlefront.
Let's look at their track record.
Yeah, like that was like one of the main problems I had with Battlefront was, the 3 skins that I have look the exact same, except the stitching is a different color, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the appeal to this game.
No,
right?
yeah.
I think for me, the appeal to this game, besides, I enjoy dogfighting games, I really do, is the fact that I'm dogfighting in an X-Wing, right? So if you're not a Star Wars fan, but you are a dogfighting fan, you'll still like the game. If you're neither, you probably won't appreciate this game as much as, say, like me or Jordan. But I thought the game was... I think it's really fun. And I feel as though right now, since it just came out yesterday, we played it last night, I feel as though I'm on a high, and there's not a lot of things for me to complain about. It was $40, so a lot cheaper than what what you'd expect, but I feel as though my nostalgia is super making me biased towards this game. How I enjoy Star Wars so much, because I even just like this playing in the campaign, going from the TIE fighter and then going through to the X-Wing, just seeing the differences in the dashboard.
In the vehicles themselves, right?
In the vehicles themselves, right? I do feel as though this game is more simulatory than like the counterpart Battlefront modes that they have their own, dogfighting.
And is that better in your opinion, or not as much? Like, does that give you? Is there strengths to that, or is there mostly cons?
Well, no. I mean, it's the same with like Forza Motorsport or Horizon, right? It's people that enjoy those types of games will probably play both.
Yeah.
They might have preferences towards one or the other. It's personal preference, right? Yeah. I tend to like Forza Motorsport, where I know, David, you probably like Horizon more, right? So, Horizon 3. Let's say Horizon 3.
Oh, no, I like Motorsport.
You like more? Okay, yeah. Well, I just think it's kind of personal preference. Do you like the arcadey, Cruising USA style, or do you like the Forza Motorsport style? So I think it's personal preference there. Just know it's not full-on simulator.
It's almost
like you don't have to just sit there and press buttons, and it's not Flight Simulator.
Well, it's almost like they found a sweet spot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's kind of like a hybrid.
Yeah.
It actually is a Horizon.
Yeah.
It's like the sweet spot. So.
But it's super cool to fly in an X-Wing and have dogfights and everything. Mm-hmm. We played the campaign with the Thrustmaster, which is a joystick and throttle. That definitely adds flavor to the fighting, right? To the fun of the game. The problem with bringing that into like a PvP match is it's a lot harder to run your Thrustmaster.
It takes more skill
to run your Thrustmaster, right?
Yeah.
So I think when you play PvP, you should probably be playing with your controller, just because it's easier. Yeah. But when you're playing campaign, throw on that Thrustmaster. I have a lot of nostalgia. I really enjoy the game at this point in my life right now.
Yeah, let's throw up some gameplay of that, so we could.
That's a good idea.
So we can see that we forgot to.
What's nice about it having that like simulator aspect, or like that sweet spot, is there's skill involved when flying and dogfighting, right? So you can see yourself progress, and the more skilled you are, the better you'll perform, right?
Yeah,
which is really
absolutely.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it as well. I'm interested to see. I feel like where this game is for me, like the story is okay. I wasn't like super blown away by the story. It's cool. It's there. It's if you're really into the Star Wars universe, I think you're really going to enjoy that a lot and find it interesting.
Feel like it's your typical story.
Oh, really? Yeah. What I really like is the dogfighting multiplayer.
I think that's
aspect.
where it'll shine.
That's where it's going to shine. As soon as it gets more modes as well. I think there are 2 modes right now. And Fleet is clearly the better of the 2, which is basically like a siege mode, right? Like what's it in Battlefield where you move forward and then you move backwards? It's that mode.
It's almost like
Tug of War 1.
Tug of War, like Frontlines Conquest or something like that is what it's called. But it's basically it's a tug of war to get the Or no, Battlefront. It's similar to the mode. Or sorry, I thought you said Battlefield. Did you say Battlefield? I don't know. What
Battlefield.
Battlefield. I think it's like the Frontlines modes.
Yeah.
In Battlefront, it's that one mode where you actually go up into the enemy's capital ship, and they can theoretically push you back, right? And it can be this tug of war. So it's similar.
You can have a game last for 3 hours.
Yeah,
we've had that happen.
It's similar. it's similar to that. So
yeah, it's super fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think you have different experiences as well. Like Spicy said, if you've got a Thrustmaster or you've been thinking about buying a Thrustmaster and you are going to jump into the Squadrons game, I would definitely get a Thrustmaster. I think Spicy said it yesterday. Thrustmaster for campaign.
Yeah.
Controller for PvP.
Yeah. That's definitely going to be where it's at just because of that ease of use, like you said. spicy. Overall, though, I think I recommend it. Fitzy, Dark Knight in chat and Fitzy both said if you're curious, if you're on the fence about it, with EA you can do the trial right now. So the trial is available. So jump in, check it out. If you're on the fence, you can see, is this what I'm into? Is it not what I'm into? I enjoy the first person only view though.
I do too. I actually really like that they made that a feature. At least where I'm at. I don't know how to switch out of first person if you can, but first person only. I actually really do enjoy that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's really cool.
I think this is going to be an awesome VR game.
I
don't say that very often,
agree.
but it's a cockpit game, Jordan.
Yeah.
And I think those play really well with VR. I think I would love to play this in VR.
Well, and even the like we said, it has kind of those simulator aspects, and we were talking about it before the show. I like that using your instruments helps you, like using your radar, using your dashboard. I like that you can decide to put all your power into your thrusters, shields, weapons. You can change that on the fly as the situation needs, right? It's actually, I think they've added quite a bit to give people something to go for.
No, a good experience.
Now it still stands. I don't know how long I would stay on this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
Because the same thing happened with Battlefront. We played the space mode for quite a while, and then now we just play the ground. You know, the actual Battlefront modes, right? I don't know what I'm saying. The
with
people
a
that
gun,
shoot guns.
you have a gun. You have a rifle, and
that
you
one.
shoot. You shoot people.
Yeah. So, but anyway, what they've added, I feel. I mean, we'll see. Well, I'm excited to see how the ranked mode works. Maybe that's what'll keep me addicted. Is gotta grind that rank.
Gotta rank it up, baby. Rank it up as the best pilot in the universe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Jordan was fighting against Poe yesterday.
He was, yeah.
Because he kept dying.
Yeah, I was like, dude, who's that, Poe?
Yeah, who was that? Was that Poe Dameron? Yeah,
that was funny. No, I enjoy the game. I feel as though I don't think everybody's going to enjoy the game.
Well, I feel like this is the beginning of it, right? Like this is the foundation, and they're going to build on the multiplayer side of this over time.
Would you say these types of games are almost like a niche crowd?
Oh,
sure,
yeah. Anytime, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Anyways, there you go. Star Wars Squadron. That's our absolute first impressions. Go check it out. That free trial, if you have EA
10
EA
hours,
access, you get that. You can jump into it and check it out there if you're on the fence about it. But we all really enjoyed ourselves. Let's take it to the next portion of our show, the next segment. This is the news segment. Jordan, tell us what is happening in the world that is Xbox One this week.
Well, it's about time.
It's about time.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About
Benji.
Time,
Crash
is now
Bandicoot 4.
available, which I actually kind of like that title. It's about time because the game is about time, but it's also about time we got a new one.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So anyway, Crash
Hold on.
Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. I'm excited. I will probably be purchasing this way back in my younger years. We had the original PlayStation, and I believe we had Tony Hawk Pro Skater, we had Spyro the Dragon, and we had, I think, Crash Bandicoot 2 on the original PlayStation.
Yeah, we did. Yes, that's correct.
So I am a big fan of the Crash series. I was really pleased with the remake. I got to play a little bit of that. But anyway, I'm excited for the new one. It's been getting, from what I see online, and I take it with a grain of salt because everybody's got their own opinions, but it's been getting fairly decent reviews.
Yeah.
By the populace.
By the people that review stuff.
All right, let's talk dirty for a minute.
Oh, yes. Can we please?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the new story trailer dropped.
yep.
And wow, if there was something that might have taken me away from Cyberpunk, it may have been this story trailer because it looked good.
Dude.
And it makes me think, oh man, I have 2 days to beat this entire game.
Well,
before Cyberpunk comes.
So Cyberpunk, I mean not Cyberpunk. Assassin's Creed always does something correct, and the thing that they always do correct is they put you in this interesting time period and this interesting world, and they've done that here with Vikings and Valhalla, and where you are in England before England is England, and you're battling over it with as an invader and against the Normans, et cetera, right? But I feel like when you watch this story trailer, they've taken it one step further here.
Oh, yeah.
And
I agree.
It's legit. Watch, this is the only part of the story that you get, and then
Yeah.
you
It's
just
actually
play the game
crappy.
and it's nothing. But I feel like they've really focused on story in this one, not just world. And if you've not seen the story trailer, just type it into
Very good.
YouTube and go look it up. I've said it before, and I will say it again, and I know it's blasphemy. I am more excited for this game than I am for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, no. What I've talked
just
to
does it to me right.
I've actually talked to other people. The computer. I mean, I feel like people are kind of split, like because they come out at the same time. Cyberpunk. Like personally, I'm just really excited for Cyberpunk, but I'm excited for this too. This story trailer is good, and I'm going to talk about stuff that's in it. So you know how a while back they talked about like almost. What's
what
the
you
word?
trying to say?
What's the word? What's the word? I'm terrible.
Infantry.
There we
They're
go.
the
Yeah,
ones with
no.
the guns.
No, politics. How politics are going to kind of
Yes.
be a gameplay element.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Let's just start over.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Take a deep breath.
Okay. So you know how a while back.
Politics are going to affect the world
Yes.
and affect your
Yes. You remember
gameplay.
how they talked
Yes.
about that? What's really interesting about this trailer is they talk about King Alfred.
Yes.
Right? But they also talk about, and I didn't know that they were, I figured they were somehow going to be in the game, but they also talked about the sons of Ragnar, Lothbrok, right? So I wonder, it makes me think, oh yeah, there's going to be that whole like politics thing that they're talking about. I wonder if, it's going to be interesting. The different factions, different things. I'm excited to see what they do with it, but just the gameplay alone in this trailer looks really good.
It looks cool.
Just slicing someone with an axe.
It just does
gets it. That's just it just
you.
works.
And the Viking lore and the way that it just works.
I think everybody can get excited about Vikings,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
But very cool.
Like Matt Ballsy in chat says, Vikings and the Last Kingdom vibes. Right
Yeah,
there.
Last
And
Kingdom.
that's exactly
Netflix show,
correct,
if you want to
yes.
watch it. I actually watch that show. I find it rather interesting.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla story trailer. Again, go look it up if you haven't seen it yet. Speaking of battles and epic battles.
Yes. Dynasty Warriors Empire. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empire. Official trailer was dropped this week, and it's coming in early 2021. It's going to be on the Xbox. Very exciting. I haven't played a Dynasty Warriors game in quite some time, actually.
They hit
I
their
think,
sweet spot for me a decade ago.
I think, yeah, a decade ago.
Decade ago.
I think there's a Dynasty Warriors on the Xbox One that we played just for a little bit, but it didn't really,
Well, they changed
keep
some things.
traction with me.
Well,
You know what I mean?
some of
Like-
them they turned it into like an open world Dynasty Warriors,
Mm-hmm,
and they did some. I think they kind of went away from.
What made their sweet spot, the
Yeah.
peak.
Granted, there are 9 of them. Actually, I think there's more than 9
There's
of them.
more, yeah.
Well,
because
there's a lot.
but this is the 9th title, but they've released a lot more than 9.
Yeah.
And
so
this is the
maybe.
second 9th title.
Yeah, that's what I
actually.
mean.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think the last time I played one was 7, and I think 7 was the one that kind of was different. And it felt like because they went open world that they went away and things were less polished, and it felt different than how I normally expected a Dynasty Warriors game to go. Like when I play a Dynasty Warriors game, I want to take out Lubu. That's my plan, because he's somewhere on the map somewhere, and you got to go take that guy out. Once you take that guy out, you get a sweet weapon and stuff like that, right? It wasn't so. When they made it open world, I felt like they kind of removed that aspect where you could fight the same battle a million different times and have the outcome change, and it changes for the better or for the worse, right? Also, it's just a smashing, just smash your buttons, do combos, and kick, kill
You are unstoppable.
about 100 people in
Yeah.
under a second. It
It's
really
so
is like
cool.
in the beginning of Lord of the Rings. When they're fighting Mordor, like
That's what the game is.
you are seriously one swipe and 50 men go flying, right?
Sauron, right?
Yeah, Sauron.
I'm excited. I mean, Dynasty Warriors is always something that's interesting to check out to see is it back to where to where it once was. And those that are Dynasty Warrior fans might completely disagree and say, well, it's been back for a while. We just haven't checked it out.
Yeah, I haven't played it
recently.
in a long time.
But it's
no.
worth trying because it does stuff.
I hope,
correctly.
I hope it's good, because Dynasty Warriors is a game. The whole concept is a game of just relaxing and smashing buttons, and everybody needs that in their lineup. of
Taking out
games.
armies, yeah. So Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires comes out in 2021 for the Xbox. All right, let's talk about Call of Duty for
Yes.
quite a while here.
The
There's a lot of Call of Duty
zombie
news.
reveal was this week.
Yes.
A lot of people very excited for this game. Very excited for this game.
I will be honest. I'm excited for this game.
Yeah.
I actually really had a lot of fun in what was it? Black Ops 4? The previous one right before Modern Warfare.
Sure.
I think it was Black Ops 4. I had a lot of fun with that zombie modes, because I think they just don't. I like that they just don't care. Well, it's not that they don't care anymore, but I like that they don't care about like it doesn't need to be realistic. Let's just throw stuff in there.
Yeah.
Because in the last one, I mean, it was great. We were fighting on basically the Titanic, and from the Titanic we went to Rome. And then from Rome, it was just really fun. So I'm really excited for this one, set in the Black Ops universe.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I guess the old one was anyway. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be fun. The trailer looks really cool. The gameplay itself looks really good. I'm actually very excited to see what these games look like and play like on the next-gen consoles. I mean, look at this. Like, when he tilts it looks really good, really smooth. So I'm excited to see how they play and feel, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for Zombies mode. It may or may not be the first thing I jump into in the new Call of Duty, which is really great. Now, let's jump over to Warzone. So, Call of Duty Warzone Season 6 patch is out, which is great because it adds subways. Yay, subways. Yay. And not the sandwich, the actual metro system. So the Verdansk, in Verdansk, the metro is now in the game, and makes it a little bit easier to navigate the maps. You can find the metro, very cool. It also adds new weapons and a few balance changes to shake up the metagame. This will be the last patch from under Modern Warfare, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So Modern Warfare Season 6 will be the last patch, or the last season. I shouldn't say patch because they usually have like mid-season patches and stuff like that. So Season 6 will be the last Modern Warfare season for Call of Duty. The next season, I believe, Season 7, if you know,
is going to be under
is going to be under, if they call it Season 7,
the
maybe
Black
they'll start
Ops
over.
umbrella?
Yeah, but I believe it'll be under the Black Ops umbrella. So this will be the last season under Modern Warfare. So that's exciting. In addition to the new season, we also have Double XP Weekend.
Ooh,
so
it's always good.
So if you want to grind that Battle Pass, and trust me, if you've not played the Call of Duty Warzone or Call of Duty Battle Pass, it is a grind, unless you spend money. But it's a grind, so that Double XP really helps. So Double XP Weekend going on now all weekend long, which is really great. Let's talk about Borderlands 3 for a minute.
Borderlands 3,
Borderlands 3
baby.
is doing something really cool. A new mode called Arms Race is coming to the game.
What is Arms
According
Race?
to we don't really know.
Oh, we just know that it's a new
We
mode
just know
that's
it's coming. What exactly the mode is remains unknown. But
So Arms Race sounds like maybe it's like a battle arena game where you've got to get the best gun, right? There's a bunch of guns, got to get the best gun and go to town on each other. I don't know.
Gearbox is saying, and this is according to an interview over at GameSpot, that Arms Race is a standalone mode that will change things up for the looter shooter.
Standalone mode.
I think it's going to be their multiplayer mode, competitive multiplayer. It's got to be. That's Arms Race. It makes sense. Standalone makes sense. They want to fund their game continuously.
Are they going
it also makes sense.
Are they going to jump into like BR?
Battle Royale with their
you
random guns
imagine?
would be insanity.
That would be so hard to balance.
Well,
Why-
Would you even
why
balance
balance it?
You don't need to.
Yeah, well, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the fun of it.
The whole aspect of battle royale.
Oh, I
is
guess you
randomness.
don't. Yeah.
Just have it be random. Like you pick up a gun that sucks, and you're like, dang, which happens all the time, and then you just get that sweet gun that just guarantees you the victory.
That shoots out musical rockets.
I kind of like this idea.
And we're just speculating
Let me-
because
yeah,
we
so
don't
let me-
know.
Let me read a statement from the interview with GameSpot just so we
Read
know.
that- read that statement.
The statement: our goal with Arms Race is to make the gun game in our game of millions of guns really matter. This was said by the level designer. And then he also goes on to say, and I can talk about the game mode for hours. I'm so excited about it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll say it's got its own environment and just leave it at that.
Dude, I think it's multiplayer.
Yeah.
Would they
Well-
do that? They haven't done that ever before.
Well, what I thought it was at first when it said Arms Race, I'm like, oh, is this gun game? You know how like
Yeah.
you click the gun, but that wouldn't. I feel like that wouldn't feel good in a Borderlands game because I don't know. I don't know. I just don't
Especially
know.
if he's trying to showcase its millions and millions of guns. Gun game is very specific on each gun you get. You know what I mean? You start at level 1, go to 2, 3, 4, 5, and everyone gets the same gun. I don't think that's going to be the same here.
No, I think it's Battle Royale Borderlands.
What mode could you showcase millions and millions of different types of guns?
You can have 100 different guns every match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
'cause
really could.
It's just a random generator.
That would
You
be
can get a
awesome.
gun and win a game and never see that gun again in your life.
That's what. Well, see, that's why I love the game poker, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love because you never know what cards you're gonna get, and it changes things.
Let me read one more quote again over by the interview at GameSpot. This is Randy Pitchford talking, the CEO over there. He says, "I cannot wait until we can share more about this, until people can experience it, because it's freaking cool. It's a
Freaking.
it's
I
a
like
totally
that. Hey, it's just freaking cool.
yeah. It's a totally new game. The way it feels to me when I play it, it's like, holy crap, this changes everything, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I don't know.
That's pretty bold too.
So, but the thing is when he says, holy crap, this changes everything, or is he talking about like the way, but see, he still may be talking about a battle royale, because that would change everything.
But they've never done multiplayer, have they? I don't.
Other
think-
than your co-op, right?
Sure,
You know?
yeah. That like PvP.
Yeah. Dueling, I guess, but that, who
But
cares?
that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dueling's
we're
not
going to
like-
introduce a dueling mode. It's going to change everything. No, I don't think that's the case.
So yeah, new mode called Arms Race. Like he said, the level designer said, our goal with Arms Race is to make the gun game in our game of millions of guns really matter. And I just like how they're so excited yet
Could it
so
be
elusive.
Could it be like seasons in Diablo where you just try to rank up your guns and somehow? I don't know.
Well, but this is so going back to the first quote that I'll read again because I feel like I read it terribly the first time. The level designer, or the lead level designer, our goal with Arms Race is to make the gun game in our game of millions of guns really matter. You can go through an entire playthrough of Borderlands single player and not get certain guns, but if you're playing battle royale matches consistently over and over again, I mean that's the perfect place to throw all those millions
It's
of
a good
guns.
theory.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I can talk about that game mode for hours. I'm so excited about it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll say it's got its own, and then he says, I'll say it's got its own environment, which alludes to a map, right?
Its own map.
And just leave it at that. And then with Randy Pitchford's comments, which we just read, it's freaking cool. Is what he's saying.
Freaking
Hey.
So,
Wow.
anyway, they also did talk about in this interview, this is focused on the first of the year. So hopefully we'll get more information come January of 2021, and we'll see what's going on. But
Agreed.
very, very cool.
That is
and
exciting.
then No Man's Sky, we talked about this a little while ago. It's got its new Origin update, which essentially almost doubles the variety of planets and worlds and games, which basically you're getting a whole new variety of planets, biomes, stuff like that, which is really cool and fun. And they're talking about this is kind of, the beginning of a lot of new stuff.
Dude,
so very cool.
No Man's Sky is the space game to beat right now. Like if you're in that genre,
Mm-hmm.
Elite Dangerous is making moves in response to No Man's
Would-
Sky. In my opinion, I know there's other space games out there, but those are the two that I compare.
Mm-hmm,
And I think No Man's Sky is just crushing it.
It is. Would you say
We
No
say that all
Man's
the
Sky is the Horizon and Elite Dangerous is the motorsport?
Yeah, but in order to compete, Elite Dangerous needs to become more Horizon-y.
Yeah.
And that's what they seem to be doing. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Well, it's very
Regardless,
exciting.
No Man's Sky is fantastic.
Yeah, they've really done a good job from turning around. Now, this story is actually very exciting to me. It's about Hyperscape.
Okay.
So, Hyperscape is getting a major overhaul. And, Mark, I think you'll actually enjoy this. I
Oh.
think a lot of people will actually enjoy this. I'm just going to read it right from the article. It's an article over at GameSpot again. It's Ubisoft talking, but I'm just going to read it right from them so you guys can know what it is. So, Ubisoft states that the game's learning curve is too difficult for newcomers, and it's currently too hard to aim, track, and consistently damage players and eliminate them, especially on console.
Yeah, well, that was my argument. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's totally.
Mm-hmm.
It was not meant for a console. So
Well,
yeah, I think.
And what's interesting is some of these complaints here, like what we just talked about, are actually also some complaints on the PC as well, right? So,
Sure.
But regarding the game modes, the company also acknowledges that the core game mode Crown Rush is, quote, unforgiving. New aspects such as respawn systems and deathmatch style game modes will be added soon. Ubisoft wants to provide players with more match styles and modes that are different from what is currently offered. The developer will rethink how to organize Hyperscape's limited game modes and how to best balance its split player base across multiple modes. The company is planning to make major changes to the game in order to attract new players and retain existing ones.
Yeah, Ubisoft.
Which is very good.
Ubisoft said it's not lived up to what it should be.
Yeah,
so.
and this is those are not my words. This is from an article over at GameSpot. It's about Hyperscape getting its new major overhaul, but that's very interesting. And what's funny about this is actually, so I still play Hyperscape. I try to play it once or twice a week because I do like the game. I think
It's a great
its
game.
setting is cool. It's another game that's really, I feel like the gameplay itself is smooth. I wouldn't, we were just talking about how Doom is smooth. I feel because it's a very Quake feeling game. If you've
Sure.
ever played Quake, it's fast, it's very vertical. Anyway, but I don't think it's as smooth as Doom. I think it can be improved. But anyway, I'm excited to see what they do. Funny enough, I actually do think playing Hyperscape has actually made me better at other first-person shooters because it is difficult to aim and track. Like you really have to dial in your settings. At least I did. I spent a good
and it's
almost a day.
It's faster than you'd normal. Like other games aren't as fast as this. This is fast.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to decipher what to do, left, right, up, down.
Well, it's the up down that gets you the it's really intense. But yeah, like David said, it's not living up to their hype. Or sorry, their standard, their expectations. Yeah. So this major overhaul is going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
It's a lot of work to have to configure the game to allow for a controller setting a little bit more. And I'm not talking about like aim assist or anything like that. Yeah. It just feels wrong on a controller. It really does. It just feels there's something about the aiming that just feels wrong with a controller. Mm-hmm. And I feel as though with a mouse, because I play a lot of mice game, PC games. It's not as bad there. So I don't know. I just it's interesting that they're saying that because I actually 100% agree. Maybe they're getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
But that is quite an undertaking to try to do that from.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting. But again, credit to Ubisoft. They stick with their games. They do really good.
Awesome.
This is from the same developer that does Rainbow Six Siege, so they're not, this isn't anything new to them, balancing games, sticking with it, right? Because look what they've done with Rainbow Six Siege, right? Yeah. But anyway, I'm excited to see what they do. I do like Hyperscape, and I do think this is a good direction because if they can, this game, I think it can be a top-tier game. I really do think. I think it can compete with Apex and Fortnite and Warzone.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm very excited. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Grounded. Got a September content update, which is very cool. This adds Halloween-themed stuff because it came right at the end of September. We're now into October. So it adds new features. The hedges have been revamped with new content.
That's nice.
Very cool. There's new buildings. We have zip lines, spinning wheels, and signs. I'm very excited to try the zip lines.
The Frankenline, what is that?
New World Landmark, Frankenline. Ooh. I think that might have something to do with Halloween. Maybe not. No, actually, because there's Halloween editions. They're going to have a jack-o'-lantern landmark and candy corn food items.
Yeah. I think I think they're adding it for Halloween.
Halloween, yeah. So very cool. There's a lot of new, there's new spider webs that stick to unsuspecting players and critters. Anyway,
disgusting.
A lot of new changes. There's the patch is actually very big. There's a lot of interface changes, world changes, bug fixes.
Grounded is promising for the future for sure. Like this game will continue. It's like Sea of Thieves. Remember when Sea of Thieves launched? This is just in beta, so it's a little bit different. But Sea of Thieves had its critics, and yet going on here a couple years, and it's so good, and there's so much to do. That's what Grounded is going to be eventually.
Yep. We also have new Game Pass games. One we already talked about, which is Doom Eternal, which is our Game Club game of the month. It is now on console.
Yeah.
Be sure to download it. It's really great. And the other one I'm excited for is Drake's Hollow.
Yeah, this is
over on the PC.
Speaking of Grounded, Drake's Hollow is a survival game as well. It looks pretty interesting.
It's like a Pikmin survival.
I was watching a lot of people play it to get an idea what is this game. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, you have to... Drakes, you have to take care of these drakes, and you got to farm for them and stuff like that.
I call them Pokemon.
Yeah, it's basically a survival Pokemon.
That's right. Yeah,
that's really
what I want.
It is.
No, Drake's Hollow on the PC, Doom Eternal on the Xbox, and then we got a lot of people, a lot of reviewers this week got hands-on with the Xbox Series X, and they got to talk about a lot of backward compatibility. And I'll just say, I'm really excited for the faster loading screens. So,
right
now, keep in mind, we actually talked about this earlier this week with a couple people. These are just backward compatible games running on Xbox Series X. So obviously, there's some improvement with frame rates on some of these. The loading times are better, but these aren't taking full advantage of the new, what do they call it, velocity architecture.
Yeah.
They're not taking full advantage of the new NVMe drive. So, they're taking advantage of it in the respect that it's beefier hardware and it's going to run these games better. But...
they're not optimized.
Yeah, they're not optimized for that hardware. I think games like The Medium and other games they're coming out with, we're going to get maybe even faster loading times, better features, obviously the ray tracing, stuff like that, right? Because those will be optimized for the hardware that they're dealing with, right?
So even like Valhalla is going to be a lot more optimized.
Because there was a question in chat with people saying... Like, not Archie. This is earlier the week we were talking about it, but people were talking about like, the loading times are faster, but I wanted to see more. And I think it's just because these are just backward compatibility games. I get these games that are being played were designed for different hardware and different architecture, right? So we're just getting better performance with the backward compatibility games. But keep in mind, I think new games coming out, like games like Avowed, The Medium, even Assassin's Creed, I think will be even faster loading times because they're developed. Maybe not Assassin's Creed because that's a multi, but when you get into games like Avowed, and even if you look over at PlayStation side like Ratchet and Clank, they're optimizing those games to this hardware, right? And I think we're going to get a lot better performance out of those newer generation games, a lot better loading times. Basically, this was just to show, hey, look, your backward compatibility games are running better.
Yeah, so with these reviews that are coming out, it looks like there's NDAs in segments, which I think is very smart by Microsoft to employ those. So, for instance, right now they have the hardware. They can show loading times, loading screens, backwards compatibility, but they can't show new games yet. They don't have access to new games, next-gen games. That will come. And I think it's smart because it allows reviewers to experience as a whole the same features, right? So you can see, like, okay, what's everybody saying about just how the system runs? Load up time from a cold start is 5 seconds? Super fast. From a cold hard reset on your Xbox, super fast. To give you an idea on some of the load times that are coming out, the big boy, Red Dead Redemption, which takes forever. The average on the Xbox One X, that's what it's being compared to, is 2.5 minutes. Loading screen that cut down to 30 seconds. So, and that's big. Keep in mind, again, like Jordan said, that's not optimized. You have a game like Control that is like 48 seconds loading time, and it's brought down on the Series X to under 10 seconds. Basically, loading screens are going to be a thing of the past. The other thing that a lot of reviewers are really excited about and really happy about is Quick Resume. And you can go and watch videos on Quick Resume right now, and it is legit Quick Resume.
It's gaming for ADD.
It is. I mean, people are switching.
I'm done with this one in mid-fire. Can go to this
Yeah, in mid-fire.
Hawk it up, and then we'll go
back and then finish me killing someone off mid-fire on the next one, and it's just going back and forth instantly. It's very impressive.
I will be honest. That feature, like, it's a cool feature, and I'm sure people will use it, but you guys know me, I like to cancel out of my software.
Yeah, you're a canceler.
I think the only time I'll use that feature is in From Software's new game, Elden Ring, when you get really frustrated and you just need to
walk away.
Okay, like Mark said, I'm going to go play Tony Hawk for 10 minutes and calm down, and then you just quick resume back into the From Software game.
I think I'm going to be able to beat more games than you now because I'm going to be playing 3 games at once.
Yeah, you'll just have a timer ding and switch over like
10-minute increments.
Yeah. No, but earlier this week we had, I forget who it was, and I'm sorry, but we had a really good discussion about it. It was just talking about loading times and like, is this the only things we're getting type of thing, and that's why I said I do think it's just because it's just backward compatibility games that weren't designed for the new what is it, the NVMe drive, the Velocity architecture. So I think with new games like Avowed and even Assassin's Creed 2 to an extent, right?
Even without the optimization of these games, these are just hard. The system is just so powerful.
Yeah,
right?
it's they're going to be.
But even without that, every single review or every single article written on it, whether it's from the Foundry, Digital Foundry, whether it's from The Verge, whether it's from IGN or GameSpot, they all had the same impressions in common, and that is this. They all basically said, I can't go back to my Xbox One X. And it's the speed that makes that difference. It's not graphical fidelity yet. It's the speed, and that's the biggest standout and takeaway. And everybody unanimously said, I can't go back to my Xbox One X.
Well, I get mad because like it's because they showed me. If they didn't show me, I wouldn't know, right?
I know.
I get mad because Outer Worlds takes about a minute or so to load. It takes 10 seconds on the new game. It's like, what am I sitting here waiting for? You know what I mean? Like you get frustrated.
It's like going back to dial. And actually, that analogy was made. It's going back to not even to DSL.
dial-up.
They said it's like going from fiber back to 56K. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
That's the big difference that there is. So.
That's rough.
But no, yeah, it's
also exciting.
But no, it's exciting because we were just talking about. I mean, this is just the raw power showing on backward compatibility games. Imagine when we get games that are fully optimized to use this new hardware.
And
like
take advantage of it.
take advantage of it. Very exciting.
Very exciting times. That's the news for this week. Let's jump into the last segment of the show. This is the portion of the show where we take your questions To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over on YouTube. Hit that community tab, youtube.com/X1Bros. Become a member. Submit to the mail sack each and every single week. Our first question comes in from Jimmy Ray.
All right.
Jimmy Ray writes in and says, "Hey, fellas, now that there's no more first-party IPs for Microsoft, what are 5 IPs that you would make Xbox exclusive?" So when he says that, he means just Xbox, right?
Yeah, because they're an umbrella.
So
It's
no
an-
PC.
Yeah, so he's saying, he says, I understand they don't want to, with Game Pass, that they're always going to have Xbox and Xbox for PC in the Game Pass realm. But if you could only limit one title only to just Xbox, what would it be? He says, I would do Avowed, Starfield, some sort of spinoff with Fallout, Evil Within, Wolfenstein. He also says, keep up the good work. He loves the community. I would go with Starfield. I think it has the biggest upside because most these games we don't know about yet. These are all hypotheticals. I think Starfield has the biggest upside. I think we're actually going to see it as Xbox exclusive, Game Pass exclusive. But if I were to only put a game on Xbox with the track record of Bethesda with RPGs, you've got sci-fi RPG coming. It's its big hitter that's been focused on forever. I think I'd have to go with Starfield.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I'm gonna say something different. I think Starfield would be a smarter choice because I think that's what Xbox needs right now, like an RPG game.
Sure.
But I think just because we know their track record, we just talked about how great a game it is. The next Doom.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be a big one. That would be a big one.
Could you imagine if an Elder Scrolls game was only on Xbox?
Not even PC.
Not even PC. Can you imagine?
That would be huge.
A lot of people would be pissed, but a lot of Xboxes would be sold.
This is true.
And then you bundle it. You bundle it with new Xboxes. What I mean, here's a question for you, just to kind of expand on this question. Do you think they'll do games like, let's take Starfield for example? We know it'll come to PC because that's their marketing. Do you think they'll do things with the do like timed exclusives with these games? Like, hey, it's gonna come to PC, but for 6 months,
No.
Elder Scrolls is on Xbox. You know what I mean?
No,
Do you think they'll keep it? Game Pass is their
Game Pass.
yeah. Okay.
You have Game Pass, you get access to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be any sort of timed exclusives. I also don't think, again, and this kills me. Again, this week we had major podcasts, PlayStation podcasts, talking about. I think that it's going to be on PlayStation still. These games,
Like they're saying titles like Halo and stuff, right? Or
no titles like from Bethesda. They're still
sure,
and
gotcha.
Guys, no offense, but get over it. Like really, it's kind of people. Otherwise, it would have been an interesting discussion, right? But it's like your fanboyism, and it's not fanboyism. Your sadness
Yeah.
that this is the new reality is getting in the way of creating good content.
Well, I think they might be going off the comment that Phil Spencer made. He did say all these games are coming to Xbox. We know that first and foremost. They're all coming to Xbox, right? Because they obviously own the studios now. He did say we will look at other platforms on a case-by-case basis, right? And I think that's kind of what they're going off of. Like, oh, okay, well, maybe
they'll
because
come.
and I mean,
You know what that's called? CEO talk.
yeah.
That's it. That's saying we don't want to say anything that creates a headline, but we have to deny it.
Yeah. Well, and
we just spent $7.5 billion. We're not going to just waste that.
And you could, I will give them this, but also let me. I would say you could argue that because Elder Scrolls is such a big franchise, they may think about putting it on everywhere. No. But I also think you could argue because Elder Scrolls is such a big franchise, only keep it on your console.
Like,
you know what I mean? So
if you reversed it, that's what kills me. If you reversed it, and it's like an Xbox person saying, I think Last of Us is coming to Xbox. It's such a huge franchise. How can it not come to Xbox? It'll be a timed exclusive. But it's coming to Xbox.
Did they talk about a case-by-case basis?
Yeah, on a case-by-case basis. That means Xbox. No. Here it comes.
Elder Scrolls is probably early enough in its development, too.
I actually don't even think they've started.
That's what I mean. I think it could happen. There's a good possibility. It could be only in one place. You know what I mean?
I think Starfield that's rumored next year. We're going to get it sometime. I think Starfield is only going to be on Game Pass and Xbox.
Yeah, the footage from E3, literally, I could make that in
10 seconds.
Google Earth. I think that was probably a Google Earth flyby of some mountains.
That was
in Africa.
actually early flight simulator footage. So, but no, I know what you're talking about, and I think it's that comment like on a case by case basis, and I think that's what they're kind of. And I get it, man. You're kind of holding on to like, hey, we might still get this.
Yeah, I get it. Would we be the same way if it went the other way? Maybe, but I don't think so because I have logic.
But no, I think who was it you were talking about last week? Was it Ryan McCaffrey that says, and you guys said it too?
Yeah,
you
and Chris
don't,
Percival just in chat said it. As
you
well.
don't spend $7.5 billion to share your toys.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly. That's exactly the point Chris Percival just made in chat. Well done.
Interesting times.
Interesting times, regardless. And I'm sorry to vent on that, but I was just
Let it
That
out,
was
man.
funny.
Let it out, man.
It was like, seriously? That's your insider analysis there, guys? Come on. Jimmy Ray, great question. Thank you very much for writing in. Blake Densley writes in. Barbara Blake writes in and
nice.
says, Star Wars Squadrons is here. Yes, it is.
Squadrons.
Squadrons.
The Squadrons.
That's the new
It's
DLC.
The Squadron DLC.
It's just I feel like we need to have a push in the community to be great at this game. Is there going to be a club feature similar to Forza? Not that I can foresee right now. There might be
No,
clans eventually.
That's your extra $20.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
He said, like, when Forza 3 was good, he says, I've been waiting for a game like this for a long time. How about you guys? Are you going to get into this title? Yeah, long term, I think Jordan probably said it best. It's a question mark long term. Because it's so limited in its modes. In the short term, it's a blast to
Yeah,
experience.
like for example, I think I'm gonna go play it tonight. I'm probably gonna play it throughout the next couple weeks. How long does it hold me?
But when
You know
a
what I
game
mean?
like Cyberpunk or Valhalla comes out, are you going to be playing that? You know, and that'll knock you off, and then
Yeah.
you'll probably forget about that
Exactly.
game, right?
I think this game's strength is its multiplayer. Is this game's multiplayer gonna be my go-to multiplayer? Is it gonna pull me away from Apex?
it could.
Other
could.
games like this, right? Yeah, I think it could too. And
It
to,
definitely has the potential
to
if-
give. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It definitely has the potential if they continue to support it and give
Yeah.
us additional modes and ways to play.
Yeah, and to give EA a little credit, they did do a really good job turning around Battlefront from its initial launch and issues that it had there to just what was it, a few months ago where they had another huge update. Since then, they've announced that they're kind of done with the game, moving on to other things, but. They did do a good job of supporting Battlefront throughout the years.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing as good a job as like say Ubisoft with some of their games, right?
Sure.
But I mean, that gives you hope. Maybe Squadrons will be the same thing. I hope it's not just a one-time. Here it is. Go out, have fun, play with it. This game would be fun if they add different modes. Do you really need to add maps in this game? Can you add variations of space?
Oh, you can add
because,
maps. Yeah.
I mean, because they have like asteroid maps. And,
I guess a in-planet map would be fun.
Well, imagine like
Coruscant?
inside a Death Star map where you could go like through little hole. You'll have the middle section, and then you'll have little corridors all over the place. I think
blow
that
up
would be
the
super
reactor.
Cool. Yeah, blow up the. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we could game.
Spicy long term for you? Where does is it a question mark like we're talking about for you? Long term, short term, super fun, but long term is so hard for any game.
Yeah, it depends on if they have something to grab me with, like some sort of progression that makes me want to stay in it.
Or a hand.
Nice dad joke. That was a great dad joke. Wow, really, that was really.
We took
really
a second and looked at each other.
Yeah, we all like went. Oh,
Oh, there's Daddy X1 over there. Yeah, it depends on the progress system. I think that's what nowadays keeps me in games. So.
They do have a ranking system, which I'm excited. I haven't played it yet because I'm not level 5 yet.
It's not ready.
But no, I'm excited to see how their ranking system works because I mean we always go back to Apex and play the ranked modes and stuff just because you gotta rank up,
Yeah.
So I do think eventually maybe they'll come out with a type of battle pass type thing or you know what I mean. So it'll be
It'd have to be a good one, and if it's a good one, that'll keep me there, right? If it's a bad one, like a Red Dead or something, then I won't be there.
Yeah.
Just like Red Dead. So
Yeah, Red Dead. So much potential.
every Rockstar game's multiplayer, the potential is just like out of this world. It has so much potential. It's just you have to wade through so much garbage to make it work.
Yeah. Well, in Red Dead, what you want, and they've successfully done it in Grand Theft Auto, is property ownership and being able to drive around and get cars and bling and all this stuff, and it just never has happened.
Bring
for
bling
Red
to the
Dead.
Wild West.
Bling, yeah, I think they're taking it too serious. They need to be more tongue in cheek.
No, but it's a serious game. I mean, we've had this argument before. That is a serious atmosphere. People die of dysentery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but you can treat your online different than your
I think
game.
you can treat your online.
And I
differently.
think in order to keep it popular, at this point they have to.
But it's a much more difficult game to get away with that
Yeah, no, I agree.
than
with that.
Grand Theft Auto. Like,
I agree with that.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, let me ride around unicorns. How cool would that be? With rainbows flying out behind
See,
me.
and I feel like that breaks the atmosphere.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's some people building mods for the game and scripts and stuff. And just what they've done, they've kept it serious, but they've added all these cool features into it. And it's like, yes, that's what Rockstar needs. Why can't we just have that built in?
Sure, I think
because let the modding community do it for free.
Yeah.
that's the Rockstar way.
Yeah.
I think I think Rockstar can improve a lot, right? I mean, that's what we're saying. I just think it's much more difficult, and it's a much more difficult atmosphere to get away with certain liberties.
Well, and I think ultimately the cash cow is Grand Theft Auto, and they're not about to move resources away from that cash cow.
Well, they're about to go on to a third generation of consoles.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. In fact, and
And
not
that
only
was
that,
like-
but their game mode, their Grand Theft Auto Online on its third generation of consoles is featured on stage
Yeah,
on
for
the
new-
PlayStation
for the-
5 console.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, that's huge. That's how powerful that game is. So they're not about to divert resources
And
away
that's-
from that.
That's not a bad thing.
No, I don't
Like,
think so at all.
that's-
Next question. Thank you
When
very
are
much.
we gonna get a GTA 6?
I don't
I think we're a long way away from that, though.
Well, we do know that the way they develop games is different now because of how they develop Red Dead Redemption. So they may be working on GTA 6.
No, I think they are, but I want more. I want it now. But I want it now.
But I want it now. Great question, Blake. Thank you very much for writing in. Hermit the Frog writes in and says, "Hey, bros. Hope you all are well." He says, "So I was only able to get a pre-order in for a Series S as the numbers come out for the Series X having about 800 gigabytes of usable space. That's because of the operating system and stuff like that." He says, "I'm really concerned about how much space I'll actually have for storage on the Series S. I do have a cheap 4K TV, but resolution isn't so much the concern as opposed to what we know will be costly storage add-ons. Do you think it's worth canceling my pre-order and trying to get my hands on a Series X at launch?" He says, "Thanks, bros. Keep up the awesome content. Loved the Couchcast." Well, thank you very much, Hermit the Frog. We love the Couchcast as well. It was fun. I don't think, at this point, with the giant question mark up in the air, you cancel anything for anything.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I think you hold on to that. I think you hold on to that Series S, white knuckled, and see on launch day if you're able to, if there's anything available, or before then, if you can pick up a Series X, and only then would I cancel or sell a Series S. But I would hold on to that. Yeah. I also wouldn't be too concerned about storage at this point. One of the things that was looked at this week with transferring your external devices, all the reviewers did this as well.
Yeah.
For Assassin's Creed Odyssey, what is it, a 42 gigabyte game, 43 gigabyte game? It's in the 40s.
I feel like that's low.
Okay, regardless. Okay, it's over 40 gigabytes.
I gotta look it up. I gotta know.
To transfer from your 3.1 to your internal, which is what you need to do in order to experience the next generation stuff, you can still have your external. It took 7 minutes. That's not bad. That's 7 minutes. I could do that. Hey guys, 10 minutes. I'll be there.
It'll take me 7 minutes to make a sandwich.
Exactly.
And it's a good size sandwich.
46?
Yeah, it's 46.
We're right there,
You're
yeah.
right.
So 46 gig. So I'm not super concerned with storage at this point. Is it a convenience? Absolutely. Not having to take those 7 minutes, that's a convenience. But at this point, I just think it's a convenience. I think in reality, and perhaps you want that convenience, absolutely. But I think in reality, going from HDD to internal in 7 minutes is not that big of a deal, and most people only play 3 or 4 games regularly, and so and whenever you need to do that, 7 minutes is really not.
No,
bad.
I agree. And now knowing the time, so let's double it. So you take a game like Master Chief Collection, which is sitting around 100 gigs.
Yeah, so 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, just prep.
So
well, and it's a game you'll be playing for weeks, right? And you can just do it.
Yeah, because usually the new games, right?
It's totally a convenience. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's a convenience. I don't think it's a must-have. I also don't think it's a thing where they purposely went, low with space on the internal to gouge you. I think it's just technology. And so I'm going to
It's
wait.
price.
Yeah, it's price. I'm waiting for that price to lower, which it will eventually, and get bigger sizes, and then I'll be more than happy to switch to that convenience. But even right now, I was testing this week on my Xbox. I deleted every game that I'm not playing and only had games that I intend to play, and it's 5 games, right? Like we get to this. It's nice to have access at any time.
Yeah.
But if you have an external hard drive, 7 minutes is not bad for 50.
No,
for 50
no, not
gigs.
at all.
I mean, I've been doing this ever since I got my X or Scorpio.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I have a 10 terabyte external. It's massive. I spent a week and a half downloading
every game.
with God tier internet, downloading every game that I could get my hands on in Game Pass and every one that I owned. I have like 160 games installed on that hard drive. I transfer games all the time, the ones that I plan on playing. Like I put my go-to games are always on there, like Apex and other games, right? So I just put those on there. Whenever I get a new game, I move one that I'm no longer playing, and then I have the other one installed there. It's actually a pretty simple system with even these slower speeds with this box now. So I agree. It's convenience. It's something simple to do. You just get in the habit of doing it. I think it's fine.
It might even be a new norm because I've done similar things as well with my external hard drive. You have too. So we're already kind of doing it, but with the amount of games you have on Game Pass and then the amount of games that are coming out for the new console, it might just be a thing where you have an external, and then if you want the full features, you transfer it over. I mean, like you said, eventually prices will lower. You'll get bigger drives and stuff like that too, right? But
Fitzy in chat has a great question. He says, do you think games like Master Chief Collection, you'll be able to just install the game you want to play instead of the whole game? Didn't they mention how you can install only multiplayer or campaign if you want? So, for instance, he says if you want to just play Halo 2, instead of the whole thing, just install the one.
yeah.
I don't
Might
know.
not be a bad
I don't
idea.
know
That sounds like a PC when you're installing software. Custom install.
Exactly.
It's like you're installing
and
Office.
with smart delivery, it's up to the developer to take advantage of smart delivery. And so then I'm sure it's also up to the developer on how to use smart delivery specifically. So I'm sure the option is there, but it's up to the developer at that point. So short answer, I don't know. But I would imagine that could be a feature if developers chose to take advantage of it with smart delivery. Great question.
Great discussion. I'm hunting wabbits.
Oh, man. Great discussion, Herbert the Frog. Thank you very much for writing in. I appreciate it. That actually does us for this week. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are 1 week closer to the next generation of consoles. The next generation that is Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Jordan had a chance to play the Zelda fake game. The fake Zelda game this week.
Oh yeah.
Genshin
Impact. I actually played it today.
How'd you like it?
It's really fun. I mean, it's
I have
one
watched
of those
videos of level by level. So like they go to a cave.
Oh, it's definitely
And side by side, everything's in the same location. The guys they totally ripped off Zelda.
Oh no, yeah. It's definitely inspired by Zelda, right? But it's it's really fun. The map and some of the mechanics are very similar. The combat, on the other hand, is the thing where it diverts. It's really cool how it works, man. Because what you do is you have a party. And that party, you can switch instantly between your 4. So only one character's out at a time, but you have 4 in your party. You can switch instantly between those characters. So you're essentially building a party. So like I can switch, and all your, let's call it magics.
It's like a Final Fantasy 14 setup or 15. Sorry, setup.
No, because in Final Fantasy 15, your party's there and the AI controls them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I is.
No,
that
no,
not
so
what
you're
saying?
one
So you're
character at a
one
time.
character.
Oh, and
then you have your 4 that are in your party, and you can switch from, let's say, Chuck, who does wind light magic, to Amber, who does fire magic, right? And you can switch instantly between them.
like a Marvel fighting game or whatever, where
Yeah.
Spider-Man can come in and switch.
Yeah. So what's really cool about it is that's where the combat gets really fun, because you can build your team specific to different things to do. Like, for example, different magics or different abilities combo with each other. So let's say we used our wind guy to make a tornado, and then I suck people in. I switch over to my fire lady, shoot a fire arrow in there. It burns on fire, right? And then switch back.
cool.
And then you add that to, there is tanky characters, there's support characters, there's DPS characters. So you can really build your team. And where it gets you is each character is leveled up by themselves. Like, you can level up all the characters. Each character has their own story, which is actually really fascinating. There's actually one character who has a really depressing story, and you feel really bad for him. But anyway, it's really well done. It's for a free to play value, which yes, it is free to play. You get quite a lot, and that's without spending any money. If you do want to spend money,
they're probably stealing all your information.
yeah, and that's I was streaming it this week, and that's what everybody in chat was saying. Like, "Wow, this game looks fun. Is it worth them taking my information?" And I don't know. It's just the decision you gotta make. But no, it is really fun. I like it. Right now, it's on PC, mobile, and PlayStation, and it is coming to Nintendo Switch, which is great.
Which is like a slap in the face. If I was Nintendo, you want to know what I would do to counter this? It's so clearly, I would just steal all their shit.
But they don't have any.
But put it in Zelda. So I would.
That's
I would
not
have,
China's way.
I would have multiple. I would just take the switching between characters and add it into Zelda.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it'll be really fun. The game between PC and mobile is crossplay
All right,
or
you
cross
want to copy
progression,
me?
which is great.
Copy you right back.
So
But that's not. They just have copies. Why not? You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
No, but it is really fun.
It's called Genshin Impact for people that are wondering.
Genshin Impact. I would personally play it on the PC. The mobile, it's the exact same game. Surprisingly, just really downgraded fidelity wise. But yeah, if you can play on the bathroom. So there's always that. But that's why I'm excited for it to come to Switch. But anyway. It's cross progression between PC and mobile, and I'm hoping it's going to be cross progression with Nintendo because it's not cross progression with PC, PS4.
Yeah, free to play like that, you have to
Yeah.
have cross progression.
Yeah. So Nintendo has been pretty open with cross progression with all their different games, so I think they will be cross progression. But no, it's a really incredible. I think the monetization part is actually terrible. I don't like it.
He compared it. He was like. When you were telling me, Jordan, you were comparing it to Overwatch's monetization.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
It's terrible because
You buy the right to have a chance to get what you want.
No, but
Exactly.
it's like on top of like with Apex. Okay, let's take Apex for example. You can just buy your characters that are new. You can also earn currency to get them. You can just buy them. In this game, it's a loot box with a chance to get the new character.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You're buying the right to have a chance.
and building your team because the thing is
that's
like
so gross.
It's like I want to build new characters and do that's the thing. But that being said, if you completely free to play, I have I think 6 free characters. And you have your squad is 4, right? So you can play it, and beat the game and do all the features. I do think the monetization is atrocious, but
the game's fun.
It's such a good game, and it's co-op with Zelda. Like
You really don't care that they're stealing your information. It's that good of a game.
Well, that's why you're so split with this game. You're like, okay, they're probably gonna invade next year.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just gonna get a separate PC, run a VPN on it,
from Russia.
and then have a
NordVPN is gonna start sponsoring a lot of Genshin Impact streamers.
have a account
So-
I created in Russia and just have a separate phone just for this game.
a burner phone.
Burner phone
For
to play
gaming.
Genshin.
Well, let's get out of here, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. We hope you have enjoyed this week's show. We hope you'll come join us over on YouTube, youtube.com/XoneBros. We're excited. We're excited for the future of Xbox. We're excited for the future of this podcast, for the community. Thank you guys for all of your support. If you haven't yet, head over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe to us there. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you guys next time.
I'll fill the last 3 seconds.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome back.